Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing new Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the West and ending with Team 2 in the East. Starting off with Team 1 Southwestern player, we have in Stitch Blue, Zelby Lycop. He is a UEF for this match as a 1744 rated player. To his north, we have in Royal Blue, Off Chat OV Nictic. I call him Off Chat for short. He is a Cybran. He is a 1794 rated, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the East, we have Beterji Savopolkan, or Beterji for short. He is a UEF in Amethyst Purple as 1649 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF and a Cybran. No Aeon, no Seraphim for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's Western player, we have in orange color orange Sailor Moon as a Cybran. He is a 1556 rated. To his east in Ruby Red is Eco Player 7. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1615 rated player. And last but not least for Team 2 in Chevy Crimson is, I cannot pronounce his whole name, but he is X or U as I've been informed. He is a UEF for this match as a 1934 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 UEF, 1 Cybran, 1 Seraphim. Team 2 also lacks the Aeon faction, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess. Hopefully you'll enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 3,400 mass. I mean, for 6 players, it's over 500 mass per player, but not really worth much after that. Lots of whatever he's spamming down there. Looks like it's a wall section. Anyway, taking a look at the mexes in Team 2 side of the map. They have a quad mex in the southwest, as well as a couple of mexes east of that position. Looks like there's 2 quad mexes as well as a decent shotgunning of a couple of mexes on this northeastern side. Nothing really too tightly knitted together, but a lot of just one-offs on the map. Let's take a look at where our players are headed off to. Team 2, we have Sailor Moon and X or U heading westward, and Zelby heading southward, so 2v1 in favor of Team 2. Northeast, it's Eco Player versus Team 1's Beterji and Off Chat, so it's 2v1 in favor of Team 1. On that that northeastern side, which means there's going to be kind of a counterclock. No, it's more of a, that's a clockwise kind of a flip, so we'll probably see Team 1 grabbing the north section and Team 2 grabbing the south section. Again, it is the blue team versus the red team, given this is a ladder match. I did forget to mention that in the intros. Taking a look, calm on calm action has occurred just before this engagement in the northeast between Zelby of Team 1 and Sailor Moon of Team 2. Zelby and and Sailor Moon, of course. Heated engagement and lots of some Team 1 assistance. We do see you inbound as well to assist, so it turns into a 2v1 fight. There's still shots being thrown on Sailor Moon's comm. Zelby is still in the yellow, but again, he should probably fall back a little bit. Again, he is at a 2,000 hit point deficit. In the northeast, we have engagements between Team 2's Eco Player and, of course, Energy and Off Chat. Off Chat dropping into the yellow. Eco still in the green, but might dip into the yellow here shortly. I'm going to split things, so there's still calm on calm action happening. Now we see Zelby falling into the yellow. Everybody is on screen. Very super rare to have that in games, but again, less comms, the more likely that it does happen. Sailor Moon started with a gun upgrade. Again, very, very far forward. Nothing nearby to assist him, especially those Mantis who could assist with those upgrades. Team 1 Bombers over top, pushing Eco Player back. He has lost a little bit of territory, but nothing too mission critical. Has a lot of spam forces behind him to assist with retreat. Gun at 25%. Maybe we'll see you assist him. Maybe not. Yep, he will assist. Get that upgrade online just a little bit sooner. We do see again Zelby is in the yellow, so he is suffering a little bit. I probably shouldn't move that over there. But that is that. And unfortunately, the upgrade do not appear on the eastern side of the screen or right side of the screen. We do see gun has started for Off Chat in the northeast as well. I think that gun is going up. It's going up pretty quick. Does he have some Mantis assistance? Well, he has Beterji assisting him as well as a couple of engineers, but that is upgrade is going to complete actually sooner than Team 2's, but he might have had more mass in his bar or something to really assist with the push for that upgrade. Gun has been started on board Team 2's Eco Player's comm, and we do see Stealth now online or shortly online for Team 1's Cyber player of Off Chat. Yeah, I don't know why they don't show up on this right screen over here. Maybe it just has to do with the UI mods or whatever I'm using just doesn't show split screen. I don't see a lot of casters use split screen anyways. I've seen them once in a while, but I feel like I might be one of the only main ones to use it. And I don't use it all the time. It's really when I can't keep track of everything on one screen, I can have two of them, but even then it's limited. In that regard, I do miss stuff all the time, so there's still that. I try to cover everything, at least the comm debts, and try to covering that, but I do miss stuff once in a while. Gun has been started on board Zelby's comm. Gun has also been started on board Use comm, but again, there's already a gun comm online for Team 2 in the west, so it'll be still a 2v1. Still in favor of Team 2 in the east. Lots of interceptors guarding these Team 1 bombers. Mex goes down. Bombers have mostly been dealt with. Lots of spam. I am... actually, no. I was going to say Team 1, Team 2 about the same amount of map control, but Team 2 is still in the lead, considering they are pushing into Zelby's territory now and in the northeast. Eco is still retaining some of that kind of 1.5, 2 o'clock position. It's kind of a, not exactly a 45-degree angle, but pretty close. Opchat being forced back by a lot of Team 1 spam. But again, Eco did take a hit. Nano was on board Opchat, so losing those hit points isn't really too bad for him, because he can rep up faster than his opponent. 10 hit points versus 84 is a chunk. We do see Opchat just ignoring the comm entirely, going after the units, going for the veterancy. Is, I was going to say, almost at 2. Now is at 2-star, 20% more hit points, now at 90 hit points in second region versus Eco Player's 10. Total 15, is that 11,000? Yeah, 11,500 and 16,000, so heavily in favor of Team 1's Opchat in that regard in terms of the comm health. Gun is done on board Use comm in the southwest. Couple of units dropped off from Team 1's Strategy in the middle here, but there's really not a whole lot nearby. Maybe a Mex, maybe another Mex will be taken offline, but that'll be about it. Nothing too crazy. Again, losing 12 master seconds when you're producing only 40, 50, 60 mass, it does make a difference, but and that's if he does even lose it. Bomber drops in, takes out one of those 3 strikers. One of them remains, tries to get on the other side of the Mex to get a little bit of distance between them and kill off that Mex, but unfortunately he is not able to withstand the heat. Eco Player losing his frontline facilities. Couple of Renegade T2 gunships overhead from Team 1's Opchat. Team 2 continuing to slowly chip away at Team 1's territory on that western side. T3 gunship online for Team 2's U. And is there a second one inbound? No, there's an ASF inbound though. Gunship targeting all of the AA, of course, definitely a smart play there. Does have to be forced back because of the AA in the area, but has done a lot of damage to Opchat's comm and is given a little bit more of an even footing for those two in the east. Gun almost done for Strategy. Once he's done with that, he might go for Nano, he might go for Shield, but the upgrade has been building a little bit slowly, probably a little bit less than he would like. So he's probably going to just engage for now. Yeah, 143 seconds is a pretty long gun upgrade. In the west, Stealth has been starting on board Sailor Moon's comm in front of Zelby, essentially saying, hey, come get me. I'm just rooted to the spot. And again, same range because there's no AM players in the game. And everybody pretty much has gun at this point, so there's no real advantage with range one way or the other. Gunship almost dead, still trying to take out that comm. Again, any bit of pressure that Team 2's air player can relieve from this eastern side will be beneficial for the long haul, because again, that gives a little bit more time for Team 2 to try to crash this position on the west, and it prolongs the life on the eastern side. Because eventually, given 2 comms' attention versus 1 comm attention, kind of will crash that eastern side just naturally. More T2 units, more T3 units, possibly more T4 units, that sort of thing. Eco Player falls into the red. He is at 2-star veterancy. Looking very, very not good. T2 PD online, second one online. The comm is right there in front of him. Looks like the PD are targeting the units, not the comm. And again, Eco Player now back up into the yellow, but he's at the low yellow, so has to be very careful. Gun upgrade. Comm with Barrage coming in to assist. It is now 2v1. We could see the death of Team 2's first player and the first player in the game in general. Eco is falling below 24%. Once more, PD will turn around, will be taken out before it can really line a shot. Another gunship online for Team 2's U or X, depending on, again, which naming convention I want to give them. ASF inbound to guard the gunship. Gunship will start taking hits from a lot of that AA in the area. Has driven off chat. Done a very good job of keeping Eco player alive. Again, needs to get Nano on board that comm. He's just riding that razor's edge thin of I'm trying to keep the front line alive, but also keep myself alive, but also push back, but also keep it alive, that sort of thing. One more engagement, and he probably will die. So definitely needs to get the upgrade on board. Even if he just sits right here, gets these engineers to assist him with the upgrade, that would be more beneficial than maybe that T2 PD that he's currently building. Even then, even if he does start the upgrade, there's a large group of units here. He's going to have to be very careful because he could die in this next engagement here in about a minute or two. Western side, Nano has been started for Sailor Moon, finished stealth on board, and looks like Yu is just kind of taking it easy. And of course, microing his air forces, which is probably why he's not really engaging the front line over there. Nano has been started on board. Eco player's comm. Is it too late? Here comes off chat again. He's back up into the green. 102 hit points a second regen. And that Nano upgrade will be canceled. Overcharge will go into that unit. He does not have 3-star veterancy. Again, Offchat has 4, almost 5. And he's about to get it T2PD online, but gets wiped out immediately. Eco player trying to keep the last T2PD online. There's more Ilshis, more other Team 1 units inbound. Again, it's a slow carving away of that eastern side. Again, like I said, has to be very, very careful. He is back into the yellow again. But 2 strat bombers, or maybe just one if no ASF in the area, will kill that comm. He has to be very, very careful. Looks like there was an airlocking at some point that happened, because there's no ASFs online for Team 1. Actually, scratch that. There's no ASFs online, period, because Team 1's air player of off mic is focusing on land, didn't focus on air, and he's now building his T3 air facility, which means Team 2 has a huge advantage with having the only T3 air facility online. And they have a nice little squadron of ASF already online. A couple of gunships have been running around, so they've been using that quite nicely. Again, Eco player is still trying to defend the front line with his comm without backing down. But again, look at the progress Team 1 has made. He was right about here, and now he's back here. His main base is here. Very, very crucial that he does not lose his eastern side soon rather than later. T3 land units online for Bettergy, which means Percy's are not far behind. And we do see off chat now being focused down by the comm and the gunship. Gunship still taking tons of damage from all of this Team 1 AA. Is there some T2s in there? There has to be. Oh, there's some T2 right there. And off chat is in the yellow as well. 13,000 mass killed. And that gunship is dead once more. T2 PD, nice little defensive position to fall back to. Go back and get Nano, says you. Yeah, he needs to go back. Oh, and Team 1 knows that. Oh, no. That was all chat, but I guess it might not matter. No, because off chat goes for Eco. Nope. T2 flag, Team 1 AA nearby. I mean, they'll do some damage to the comm. T3 AA as well. For, looks like that was Cougar Fire. So that will be, that'll be from Bettergy, which makes sense. Don't think he has T3 land online. He does not, and I think it's only Team 1 land for Offchat as well. He's doing very well with just his comm, and a huge assistance, of course, by Bettergy providing the infrastructure for Offchat to just continue to push. Looks like he's still engaged in the front line, just deciding what he wants to do. He does go back home. Eco player, he's almost at 3-star vet, so he would get a boost in hit points a little bit, but definitely needs to get Nano, which will give him a boost in hit points anyways. And there goes, that Nano upgrade has been started. Sailor Moon continuing to just slowly eat away, and now we see that north v south situation has now occurred. Team 1 has the northern side, Team 2 has the southern side, and Nano repair has been started on board Zelby's comm. Maybe he'll go for shield after that, make him the tanky UEF commander. We will just have to wait and see. 20 minutes on the clock. Team 2 at 340. Team 1 270. This game is pretty low on the mass income, but I mean, ladder matches kind of tend to be that way anyways. Just for the most part, not every match, of course. It also is a small map. I can't see the south and northern edges of the actual play space. I forget what the, you know, because this is the map, and then whatever the black area, the void, the void ocean, whatever you want to call that. its boundaries. Anyway, Nano is done. He's back into the yellow. 82 hit points in second region. 108 for off chat. Again, that is going to get him back up into the green here shortly. T2 missiles in the west. Won't be enough to shield. They are Cybran mobile missile launchers, so that does make a difference. Oh, no, he does have T2 land right here. Never mind. I'm just completely missing that. Restoration field has been started on board Eco Player, so trying to keep his units alive. But in the east, Titans are moving in. Nice little Cougar assisting. Actually, a couple of them as well. Lots of AA. It's mainly going to be damage from the Titans, but lots of Janus have been built up. A couple of gunships as well. But this attack is inbound. Eco Player almost in the green once more. Janus baking this group in holy fire, trying to run by Eco Player's position, most likely going after the air player of Yu, but Yu has countered that quite nicely with his own ASF and gunships and bombers. A couple of Titans will breach through. T2 mechs are going to be vulnerable. Oh, they save the T2 mechs. The mass storage does not get saved. That's the only thing that gets killed off. Great counter by Team 2. And now we see the Holy Fire baking their own teammate. Definitely not a good place to stand. Off-chat pushed in. The gunships have now trained their sights on Off-chat's comm. He has a T2 shield to hide behind. The shield will collapse, and there he goes. Maybe even Eco Player got the kill there. And no, he didn't. You did. Looks like a bunch of stuff blew up over here. Were those ASFs? Looks like ASFs died in that explosion. So, I mean, nice little consolation prize for Team 1, I guess. But that is a kill for Team 2. Dropping this game to a 3v2 in their favor. We do see Bettergy getting a nice shielded position. TMLs, PD, shields, stealth field as well. Lovely mix there. This is what Team 2 can see. They do see the stealth field and everything there, but they don't see what the units are themselves. And, of course, they don't see the comm there, at least unless they have vision online. Looks like missiles are raining in on Eco Player's position. He's losing mechs. He's getting some TMD online. His headquarters is down. Very unfortunate. Does look like Yu is getting some land facilities for reclaim purposes. Team 1 will claim a portion of that northeastern reclaim. Western side, the attack has kind of died down for a while. Again, with the death of Team 1's eastern player, I mean, a little bit more, how should we say this, bleeding is going to be happening for Team 1 on the eastern side, as we see with this attack inbound from Sailor Moon. Again, it's not a lot. It's all Team 1's, but it's disrupting the supply alliance. It's focusing Amethyst purple player Bettergy back a little bit. Granted, it's not going to be for very long, but it does give a little bit more time for just a little bit more breathing room. But, of course, mexes are being taken out for Eco Player, so he needs to get his Eco back online. A couple of Vilshi's now on the eastern side. We're just going to run by. T3 gunship, though, that will probably cull that quite nicely. And ASFs might deploy to that. Maybe, maybe not. ASF production is online for Team 1. Looks like it was handed over to Zelby. There also is that, so it doesn't look like Amethyst purple player of Bettergy is going to get that secondary base, that juicy Eco. Team 1 and Team 2 pretty close in mass incomes. They're roughly about the same, but Team 2 is still in the lead. It was a little bit better for Team 2 in the lead department, but Team 1 has caught up a little bit. But we do see Eco Player has dropped to 34 mass per second, so of course that's possibly part of it. And I love this, some TMD assistance from Yu, even though there's already TMD, just getting some backups to assist. Lovely assistance here from Team 2. We even see he's using this as a staging facility, so it kind of doubles for his own needs as well. We do see the comm of Eco Player is very far forward, doesn't have any AA nearby. It is risky. He has regular nano and regular nano and regular regen, but is sitting at almost 20,000 hit points, so nothing too one-tappy, especially with the 104 regen. But again, has to be very, very careful. This far forward on his lonesome, behind enemy territory, not a great position to be in long-term, especially with Percy starting to merge for Bettergy. Again, like I said, he's not in one-tap territory, but is risking it just to push back a couple of mexes, which, I mean, again, some mass dead is better than no mass dead. Nobody going for the middle of the map. There's still even rocks here. Looks like there's been no focus on these central mexes. Don't know why. Maybe they just swore off the middle or something, but just decided against it for some reason. So we'll see if those ever get built. Are there actually mexes on top? No, nobody has built it, or they have and they reclaimed it, but there's not really a lot of dead units in there anyway, so they would just be left alone. It isn't really that great of a position anyways, because you have Team 2 on the southern side, Team 1 on the northern side, and they're very, especially Team 1 is very huggy with that middle of the map, so not great for Team 2 side of things. And then Team 1's probably thinking the same thing about Team 2, so it's kind of just defunct. I think it's defunct. All right, words are hard, everybody. Eco player is falling back. Probably a good play there. It does look like the frontline position for Barrage has started to collapse with the T2 artillery from Sailor Moon, and he has fallen back. This is probably a better position anyways. I feel like with him, especially with the death of Offchat by his lonesome, not with 2 bases online, did put him in a very kind of how long can I last position, and you don't really want that, because usually that means you're going to die at some point if you stay here. Depends how long you stay here, but yeah, so it's just not a good position overall. Andrew is trying to reclaim as much as possible. I do love that from Banerjee, though. He recognizes the defeat, doesn't try to rebuild, doesn't try to just keep spamming up stuff, just says, okay, I cut my losses, I get some reclaim out of it. I did get some of my stuff back, so that's better than nothing. And Team 2 will reclaim a little bit of their eco on that side of the map. And eco player now back up to 77, and that lead is again still staying within about 30 to 40. So even with the scaling up once again by eco player, Team 1's Zelby is scaling quite nicely, 475. Team 2's other 2 players of Sailor and U or X are at 300 each. And we have some Janus fire over the top of this crab that's being built. And ASF's nice engagement from Zelby. That will be an air win. I would not say he is dominating air. He's close, but I wouldn't say he's dominating. He definitely owns air for now. He has air control. And we'll see how Team 2 responds to that. I'm assuming more AA would be the idea, but we do see that Sailor Moon is retreating. Ladder matches, you can kind of stay on the front lines a little bit longer. Usually it's about the 20-minute mark, where most players in most games just say, no, I'm not going to engage unless he has a very fortified position. He's just going to fall back to base or just in the back somewhere and just kind of sit there for the most of the match. But ladder, you can kind of push that to 30 minutes, as we see with Sailor Moon falling back. And we already see Yu is back at base, hanging out with a couple of his engineers, scaling his eco even more. Nice diagonal shape here in the air grid. The one nice thing, it is technically still a rectangle at an angle, but there's only 1 P-gen instead of a 2 to 3 P-gen kind of thing, where you have this where there is 3 P-gens and a nice little rectangle, and this only has 1 to 1 to 1. So you really have to knock out a multiple of them to really get them to really just boop, 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 boop. But this one has to take damage, this one, sort of thing. But anyway, in the northeast, Team 2 eco players still hovering around lots of Team 1 units. Again, he lost his T2 land headquarters, so he would have been at T3, I would assume, at this point. And artillery fire still creating a nice little workspace for Team 2 to rebuild on that eastern front. Team 1's going for more defensive operations for Zelby. Omni Online, Crab, again, has slowed, but is still progressing. Is about 50 or so %. And Soothsayer Online for Team 2 Sailor Moon. In a map like this, I mean, he knows pretty much, what, a third of the map? A quarter of it, at least. If it was in the middle, it would be a much bigger percentage, just because A, it's not being clipped off on the western side of the map, and B, just more vital, useful stuff. The western side, I mean, there's a huge kind of just corridor of nothing. So, at least for now. There could be stuff there, sending some units on the edges of the map. That does happen from time to time, but it's not as useful as seeing the crab literally be built in front of your eyes sort of thing. Forces are starting to stack up for Team 1 on this eastern side for Banerjee. Tactical missile launcher of the Aloha class, still loading missiles, but not really being heavily assisted, just building more of them. And then we do see Region or Advanced started for Eco Player. Doesn't go for Nano, surprisingly enough, goes for the Region first. But hey, Some players do one, some players do the other, some players don't do both. Just depends on how they feel. T2 started for you in the back line, most likely for engineering purposes or just more engineer power on board his comm. Goes for T3 after that. Shield field is done, going for Ras for Zelby. They're trying to scale his eco a little bit more. He has T3 on board as well. Of course, trying to just shield a little bit more stuff around it. Was there a buff to the shield field upgrade? Because I've seen a lot of UEF players now. Not a lot, but there's a decent amount more of them building that upgrade. I don't know if there was a update or some point or patch notes or something that said, hey, that buffed a little bit. Maybe the regen's a little bit higher. It's at 60 hit points versus I think the regular shield is 30. So it does regen faster. It doesn't shield for more, but I mean, the regen does help with, again, assisting with, well, protecting stuff around it. Crab and Fatboy joining forces to crush the Crab from Team 2. The Soothsayer, unfortunately, is, not going to last much longer. It is unfortunate for Team 2, but they did get a good use out of it. Second Crab is coming online. It will probably need to be stopped by Team 2 at some point because he's not going to build that in time for that Fatboy to not be in range anymore. Second Soothsayer coming online, and yep, we can see him. He just stops the movement. Will the Fatboy stop? Yes, he will. Oh, he's sacrificing one Crab for the other. It is hard because this Crab is in the green. This Crab is almost in the red. There's a lot of firepower inbound. I'm losing, says Sailor Moon. Yeah, not looking good. There's a lot of firepower here and a lot of assistance in the parachute department as well. Gunships inbound. There is some AA in the area. There's not as much on this western side. There is that Cougar that they decided to just run by, which looks like some engineers saying, no building that. Stop it. But in this situation, Crab it's going to be denied. You might as well not spend the mass on the construction. I know it's very close to being done. Oh, actually, it might actually finish. Scratch that. But it's going to be severely depleted on hit points if it finishes. And even then, will it finish? No, it will not finish. Very unfortunate. ASF's come in and wiped the skies once again. Does Team 1... Did we have an air fight and I missed it again? Oh. Well, Team 2 have air now. I missed that. Apologies. 100 ASF, so they have air dominance. Not supremacy yet, but they're working on it. And then that Crab actually does get finished. Look at that. Heavily, heavily damaged. That thing is somehow alive and cooking. Team 2 will get some reclaim, but I don't think they'll get it for long because that monkey, that Fatboy and the Crab are inbound. You might as well just bring that back to base, control K, and rebuild another one with its wreckage because it is not worth putting that in any sort of combat engagement. Eastern side, Eco Player has advanced regen and regular nano on board, pushing in again, regenning a lot of those forces nearby. 120 hit points a second. There is nothing to scoff at. I mean, at a unit that has 5,600 hit points, I should say 560 would be incredibly fast. You probably would still be able to kill it, but man, that thing would be very annoying to deal with. And Ilshi's at 50, so still it does scale, of course, with the total hit point pool. Eastern attack is happening. Looks like it's the distraction force trying to pull Eco players to focus away. ASFs just get wiped once again. Crab is still on the prowl. Janus over the top as well as some gunships. I do love the combination attacks. You get the AoE and the constant, essentially tick damage from the fire. Plus you get the gunships, the more directed focus weapon system saying, hey, we want this thing to die. And then of course, Janus are like, we want the stuff in this area to take damage, essentially. So I do love the combination there. That Crab is still alive, though, so hasn't worked just yet. Now there's a new Crab online for Team 1, and they have a new source of reclaim here. So we're going to probably fund that into other things. Laser has been started on Sailor Moon's Con. Already has cloaking. Again, the cloaking laser commander normally only works on a defensive operation. I can select this. You can see the Omni range, so as long as he doesn't go into this ring, he'll be fine, which, given the fact that the Crabs and Fatboys have now pushed into Team 2's territory as far as they have, that laser does work. And there goes the cloaking. It's online. Laser is done. Gun is done. Unless Team 1 have spy planes or something else that has Omni on board nearby. They're not going to see him, and that is going to hurt. He is at 2 stars, so we'll get some more hit points on board very quickly. And looks like Eco Player is being hit by some Fat Boys in the northeast. So the remaining players on Team 1, both of them UEF, decide to go for at least some Fat Boys one way or another in terms of only Fat Boys or Crabs and Fat Boys. I would like to see a monkey thrown in there because it is a cheap experimental and it is nice to get that laser on board. It does do a lot of damage, but the downside is it just has shorter range. So there is, of course, always a rock, paper, scissors, wizard, whatever. Oh, combat. I used to know what it's called, and people have reminded about me in the past. It's what those are called. Essentially, the rock, paper, scissors method, where air is good at countering ground, ground is good at countering navy, navy is good at countering air. Obviously, that doesn't really happen in this game in that way, but you get my point that there's a rock, paper, scissors kind of method. Janus over top, going after Bettergy's comm. Bettergy has gone for the personal shield upgrade, which is doing very well. 19,000 hit points on board. That would have either left him very close or probably killed him had he not had that upgrade. So definitely good there. Also, the T2 upgrade also helped in that regard as well. But those Janus are down. A lovely attempt by you, just not enough. And Team 1, I guess, has noted of the laser commander on the front lines, the Omni. Again, he's getting pretty close. And looks like ground firing where the comm is walking. He needs to stay out of range. Does Team 2 know the actual range? No, but maybe just got a little bit lucky there. We have Team 1 sending some Corsairs inbound. I don't know if that was ground fired or not. They don't see him. That was ground fired, so lovely attempt. They do a little bit of damage to Sailor Moon. Another inbound attack, but Team 1 just put so much rounds downrange, plasma downrange. I think you actually might have walked into range just barely there. No, look at that. He's just on the line, but it was just enough of shots raining in that he just couldn't really avoid much, and that's just how it goes. Team 1 has now dropped the game to a 2v2 game, tied up once again at 42 minutes. And I know it's a little bit late in terms of the halftime recap, but Team 1 has 2 players left, like I said. Team 2 has 2 players left as well. Team 1 lost off chat first, then Sailor Moon was killed off just recently. Eco Team 2 is winning 1.2k versus 1, and map control has kind of shifted from a north to south to more of a east to west. Definitely not the way I thought this game was going to shake out in terms of the map control, but leave the surprises at the door, or leave the expectations and assumptions at the door, because sometimes FAF is one of those games where the most unconventional method is sometimes the best method. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And let's get back to the action with some holy fire on board the Crab. Granted, the Crab is going to die from that, and he is standing on the wreckage of his old... I don't know if that's his or not, if that was Team 1's or Team 2's, but nonetheless, he's standing on the wreckage of a Crab, and the monkey over there is dead as well, so it didn't really work out in that favor as well. And it's partly due to the fact that there's so much long-range fire that maybe the monkey got a couple kills, if that, but just got obliterated by the extra long twin cannons of those Crabs. Crab now back online for you. He took control of Sailor Moon's base. Eco Player being pushed back by a couple of Fat Boys in the northwest. So Team 1, northeast. So Team 1 is doing very well at trying to control the land situation. Air looks like it is still back in Team 2's hands. Still back. It's still in Team 2's hands. But Team 1 is trying to make a catch-up effort in that regard. Looks like ASF count is at 48. It's 46. And then U is sitting at 70. Actually, not as many as I thought. So it's actually pretty close in the air departments. Grab is being pushed back by Fat Boy Fire. That one almost is dead. Couple more shots. That'll be it. There goes the Fat Boy. And still the reclaim pile, the reclaim horde continues to grow. Currently sitting 180,000 mass on screen. Woo, that's a lot. And of course, it's where you would expect it, but there's a bigger portion, larger portion in that southwestern side. T2 artillery has been spammed up to try to stop the Fat Boy aggression in the northeast. And I think Eco needs more than that because there's another Fat Boy inbound. And that is not going to be good for business. He is trying to keep stuff alive with that regen aura. And he's at 22,000 hit points and 500. Has not gone for advanced nano. Would give him even more hit points, getting close up to 50-something thousand. He's kind of stuck being body blocked by his own units. There's some Percys and other units waiting. Units are moving in, and Fat Boys are being pushed back. This one is dead. So Team 1 has a little bit of reclaim over there. Looks like somebody's making a comment about a nuke. If possible, build SAT or nuke, says Sailor Moon. Nuke would definitely shake things up. Team 2 does have an SMD. Team 1 also has an SMD. And Team 1 also has an artillery piece and soon to be satellite. So Team 1 going for the long-range aggressive negotiations. And Team 2 has not gone in that method yet. But with the onset of that artillery piece, I would not be surprised. Looks like the SMD has been targeted. That is the main focus, not the air grid, which makes me think there is a possible maybe nuke thought about for Team 1. I mean, granted, it's nice to take out the SMD anyways, but usually if you target the SMD first, especially like this, there is a reason. And it looks like maybe the artillery is going to target the air grid instead. We'll just see how that shakes out. 1, 2, 3 crabs. 1, 2, 3, 4 Fat Boys. You has really spammed up that Fat Boy ice cream parlor shop thing. Has done very well for himself. And even sending a Fat Boy eastward to assist. There's 2 Fat Boys still here for Team 1. And there's, I mean, that's not, again, critical mass is one of those things where it's really hard to judge, especially map, the opposing forces, all that sort of stuff. But this is definitely concerning, and they're getting a lot of reclaim as well on top of it. So, not good. Mex is being taken out. That's also not good for Use Eco. Granted, he's kind of being offset by the reclaim, but eventually needs to fix that. There goes a couple of P-gens and air facilities here. T2 shielding being built just to get something online. Ooh, there goes another set of P-gens. But again, I think mostly it's going to be fine. This needs to get to T3, and that should cover pretty much everything. In that regard, another Fat Boy is now done. And Eco Player finishes another chicken. He was producing a chicken. No. It's the Fat Boy being transferred over. Okay. I wish that would not pop up for transferring units or experimental units over. It makes me think there's more than there actually is on the map. Granted, that's if I counted every single instance that message pops up, which you can never do because units die. And that message doesn't pop up saying an experimental is dead. It just says that one was built. Mex is slowly being eaten away on that western side. Satellite being deployed in a defensive manner. What is that? Usually that satellite is not what it says. Usually it's an offensive satellite, not a defensive one. So lovely to see it be used for its namesake. That's not 1 in a million, but it hardly happens, especially nowadays. Usually you see it sent to the other side of the map, getting constant vision, that sort of thing. And looks like the shielding is not holding up. Air grid is slowly being shipped away. Some of the reclaim as well being lost to the artillery bombardment. Fat Boys being built as well for Barrage, and he might have to send them westward because that's a lot of fire inbound. There is a couple, decent amount of clean cameras starting to be built, more being built as well. But 4 fatties focusing on one target. It's not going to last much longer. Crab's trying to dodge. Crab's trying to block the way for incoming Percys and Crabs from Team 1. There's a Crab over here, and there's a Crab over here. This one's severely weakened. This one's just going to be sent to just kill what it can. It doesn't have any veterancy, which means it won't regen. Fat Boy has lost its shield. Not really great in that regard. Crab's still pushing in. Not looking good for that middle Fat Boy, but again, is that artillery raining in? Was that? No, that wasn't T3 artillery, was it? No, Fat Boy's dead, by the way. That was not T3 artillery. It was T3 artillery. Wow. Janus. No, those aren't Janus. Those are Corsairs inbound. One Crab is now dead. This Crab might get some damage done. This Crab is still not dead. Second Crab is down. Again, Fat Boy already down. And ASF come to clean the skies up of all of that Corsair nonsense. Team 1 Interceptors just trying to help Fat Boy v Fat Boy. Actually, yeah, there's a Fat Boy in there. Yeah. That Fat Boy's dead. 2 remain. Oh, that Crab's not going to die. That third Fat Boy is down. Fourth Fat Boy is going to die. Team 2 has lost all of their experimentals, and I think Team 1 lost none of them. Very unfortunate. That might be game-winning right there in terms of the mass. That might just be game-winning move right there of Team 1 getting that defense still. I think it's over, I guess, as Sailor Moon. Again, it's not entirely 100%, but that is a lot of mass. I mean, there's 220 on screen. There's 170s, maybe count maybe 10 or so thousand, 150 in that reclaim pile. And Team 1 is going to absolutely focus all of their attention on that, at least a decent percentage of it at a minimum. Chicken online, of course, for Team 2's Eco Player pushing in. Fat Boys are retreating. Fat Boys don't have shielding, which means they've been hit by artillery, I would assume. They are regenerating their shields, so there's no power outage. I mean, they're not regenerating fastly. Usually if it's a fast regen, it usually means power was lost and it's been back online, essentially. Artillery, still the only one. Don't see any other players to go for any big ticket items. Team 2, you going for anything big? No, another crab. No nuke, no lasers, no nothing from Team 2. Now that laser is moving to Team 2 side of the map, which is never good. Team 1 just lost, I think, a crab, most likely, but that Fat Boy is dead. That one is still alive. Those land forces will be dealt with here shortly. Attack in the north. Chicken is still pushing in. Chicken is taking a lot of damage. There's 3 of them now in range for Team 1. And against 1 from Team 2, definitely going to favor Team 1, of course, in that regard. The region will keep those units online a little bit longer, of course. Definitely needs to get the nano advance if he wants to stay there any longer. 51 minutes on the clock for a game like this. He's going to die shortly if he's not careful. Attack in the east by a lot of AA, but there is some Percy's mixed in as well. Optimus moving in to close the gap. There's a lot of T2 artillery and a lot of PD, so I don't think the Percy's going to do that much work. At least in that kind of formation. And air grid's still being just hacked to bits. If I can again speak English correctly, which I can never do, but you know, that's what I get. I didn't take English class seriously that much, so that's probably why it's coming back to haunt me. Anyway, Chicken is dead. Fat Boy still getting outnumbered 3-1. I don't think he'll even get one Fat Boy kill because 3v1 and I think this might be a situation where had Team 2 maybe just not been the first ones to attack and let Team 1 do all the attacking, it may have been the best scenario for them. With all that mass donated over there, I'm making a prediction that Team 1's going to win this game, but no assumptions one way or the other. Of course, it also helps that the artillery and the laser is still online, so there's that. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything because a nuke could come in. Anything could come in and wipe out that artillery emplacement, so it isn't the end of the world for Team 2 yet. Yet being the good word in that sentence. Still, no big ticket items. I'm very surprised. Team 2 is still winning the mass game, 1.2 versus 1,000. Granted, a lot of that keeping up in the reclaim department is mainly being driven by Team 1's reclaiming operations on the western side, and they've even actually gotten ahead of Team 2 because of that fact. Artillery is still raining in. It's just not being held together too greatly. I mean, around the comet's fine. And I think the T3 air headquarters is gone, which means he's lost access to ASFs and T3 gunships and whatnot, so he needs to fix that. Lots of T1 bombers stacking up. Don't know what they're for, but who knows? Just don't think Team 2 just has enough remaining to win the game. There's a couple of crabs, but Team 1 has, just put a whole bunch of stuff over here in terms of lots of units to act as cannon fodder. Still a decent amount of artillery. Still a Fat Boy. There's still stuff to chew through. Team 1 bombers stacking up makes me think only of one thing. There's 200 and almost 50 of them. And there's megaliths sitting here, and I wonder where they're going to target. Eastern side, Eco Player pushing in, trying to just distract the shot from the Fat Boy. Fat Boy have pierced the shielding. T2 artillery is the focus. And Othams are going to make a valiant charge. I don't think it'll be enough. There's missile launches in the northeast. Looks like they went after either the artillery or the comm. I would assume the comm, but comm was already moving at that point, so it didn't really work that well. Still, staging area in the west is growing for Team 2. It could just be one final push and Team 2 wins the game. But it could be the same thing said for Team 1. Obviously not western side, but eastern side. Satellite over top going after more of the income. Team 2 still at 1.3. Team 1 not even broken 1,000. I don't think they've broken 1,000 this entire game. They're just more fascinated and focused on the reclaim, which, again, to be fair, is perfectly fine because now they're in the lead for total mass accrued. Team 2 is catching up now, but again, they were able to get the lead. Eco player trying to distract Team 1 with his comm, but now I think he's done too well of a job of distracting. He's dropped into the yellow. He's trying to dance, bob and weave, bob and weave. Trying to get T2 artillery online to help deal with this fat boy problem. Chicken is online. Otham's going to push in once again to try to act again as a nice little distraction for it. There's 4 fat boys online for Team 1 now, at least for Better G. 5 fat boys. Sorry, there's 5 fat boys online. That's enough to kill that chicken very quickly. 260 hit points a second regen. Now he's out of range, so it's down to 20. And I don't think he's going to get to those fat boys. Dropping hit points very, very quickly. It does buy him time, though, Eco player, to get more T2 artillery online, which is why he's focused on that. Fat boy, there's 1, 2 crabs, 2 more being built as we speak. One of them almost done. This fat boy, of course, might get a brother here shortly. Maybe, maybe not. And it looks like a artillery piece has been started again for Team 1, so they'll have 2. Team 2 has 0. Again, I don't think they're building much of anything to win the game. They're just trying to survive it at this point. And in that scenario where Team 1's going for the win, Team 2 will probably lose. Shields are down. That's not great in this scenario. I don't know if that's a power issue or not. It's not a power issue, so he lost those shields pretty quickly. Fat Boy is dead. Crabs are making an assault once again. There's 3 of them. Another one has been built, though, for Team 1. And this one, of course, is now moving over here to assist. Tons of bricks are inbound. There's a couple of loyalists. Love to see them mixed in there. First crab is down. 2 remain. This might be the punch through they needed. There's a lot of attacks coming in at multiple different angles. You have the main force and then 2 secondary forces. We do see some EMP weapons going off to distract a couple of those shots. T1 bombers over top. T3 strap bombers as well. ASFs are going to have to suicide on this. There's a ton of bombers inbound. Some of them get eaten by the ASFs, but man, that's going to hurt a little bit, Maggie. Oh, there it is. ASFs will engage. That was the perfect time to engage the ASFs. Oh, looks like Team 1 will still win ASFs, but they'll lose probably a little bit more. First crab is down. Fat Boy is dead. And this would be also a really good time for a nuke. Eastern side is collapsed, or starting to collapse as well. Looks like the attack from Bergy is prompted by Team 2's attack in the west, and this puts the Fat Boys in range of a couple of Othams. That's not a great situation to be in. That second Fat Boy might die. Those other 3 should be fine, but there is 1 dead. Attacks are inbound for the air grid. Tons of T2PD are being built. The artillery was just finished off. There's a crab here, and there's a crab here. Oh, the crab is probably targeting that artillery piece, you would assume. T2 shield generators are being built. That pigeon goes down. That's not great in terms of the shield staying online much longer. Bricks are broken through the western side. If this attack doesn't work, that I don't know if it's the end of the game, but it's going to be a little bit while longer until the game actually ends. Crab is almost dead. This crab is dead. This crab is dead. The artilleries are still online. That could be a missed opportunity, but the pigeons are going down for Team 1's air grid. And bricks are still trudging on through. T3 Air Headquarters is still alive for now. It has 400 hit points remaining. How is it not? Oh, there it goes. Never mind. And air grid is down. And we have a possible comm target going after the comms in the northwestern corner. Artillery still raining in. Again, there's 2 of them now for Team 1, but this one doesn't have any power, so it's a little bit slower in firing. couple of Percys and bricks and whatnot kind of dotted in there. Not really going to do that much damage, but there's more inbound all the time. Artillery moving. Now, that's not that useful. Got to post that up somewhere and then fire it. Bricks running around, going after the comms. The comm have split. One's gone west, one's gone east. Ooh, this could be it. Team 1, if you don't last now, you might be at the end of your rope at this point. We have T3 artillery raining in. They are firing on that T3 artillery emplacement. T3 artillery mobile is countering T3 stationary artillery. Oh, T2 PD is starting to line them up, take them out. There's a lot of shots inbound still. PD not focusing on the artillery. And now we see the comm of Zelby being taken out by those bricks in the east. We do see Barrage being chased by a couple of bangers, but that's not too worrisome. Artillery piece is down. The shield, the pigeons, coincidentally enough, not dead. Satellite's still online, and Duke is still online. And looks like that is the last remaining player on Team 1 is Barrage. Team 2 still has 2 players left. Attack in the east is commencing. A lot more morale is being... not being lifted. Well, it is being... Morale is being lifted. I was going to say a lot more morale is being added, but that's not how morale works. 1 artillery piece is still online. Barrage isn't out of this yet, but it's not looking good. There's a huge amount of everything gone on that western side. And there's still units inbound from Team 2. That might be it. If the other satellite and artillery go down, that's game right there. Fat Boy is gone. 1 more remain. Again, I can't speak. And there goes Barrage. Heat control case. He can see the writing on the wall. And there he goes. Team 2. It was very close to Team 2 losing this game. Team 1 had artillery. They had satellites. Team 2 donated a whole bunch of mass over here. And Team 1 scooped up 90% of it, 80% of it. But Team 2 just had that one successful attack. That's all it took to break through. There was no very big secondary wall. It was just the one wall. And once that happened, it was just crashed. And they got a kill out of it. Still took out some stuff. And then there was still more and more precipitous attacks still. And look at all of them. Look at all these T3 units online. You have 30 Percys. You have 37 bricks. There's that group of bricks up there still being shot at. Tons of engineers. Decent amount of T3 mobile artillery. We even see some T1 PD being built over here for some reason. Oh, looks like they were targeting the T2 artillery over there. But besides that, yeah, Team 2, nice. I mean, it wasn't really a comeback, but it was kind of a comeback. But let me know down in the comments who you think deserves to be MVP. I mean, because of that major push that essentially broke Team 1, U/X gets the MVP for me. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see all of you in the next one.